the using color as an excuse or that you're black as an excuse, you can't do that anymore because now we're no longer in a colorblind society, and now things are totally even.
Even? How do how do we get there? How do we make that leap?
I've noticed that people have the opportunity to distort and redefine history as we go along to make it more tasty. That's why I feel that the Attorney General, Eric Holder, when he said that Americans were cowards when it came to addressing the race issue in any way of strong substance, without being offended and fighting about it, but and I think that's one of the reasons why what I've been doing with this show is going back to the 60s, raising up the carpet and sweeping out the debris that was swept under the carpet in the 60s, because a lot of that stuff is still with us and has never been addressed. And I think that we're old enough, articulate enough, and smart enough to be able to discuss racially sensitive issues without fighting about it.
We're not a colorblind society, right? Um, and I don't know the guy who you're talking about. I heard about the comment he made, and I agree. I think we are cowards. And I don't even think you have to raise up the carpet to sweep anything from under it. Our streets are still littered with it. It's all around us everywhere we look and turn. And we don't address racism or the color issue. We don't really address it. We do these diversity things, and people walk away with a little feel-good feeling like, we talked about diversity, but chances are you didn't really get it, unless somebody walk out yelling and screaming, you haven't gotten there. We leave it buried, we put a Band-Aid on it, and expect it to heal, but there's still a lot of infection down there.
I think we're a band-aid society, and I think that it's just so interesting talking to you because again, you're so many miles away physically, but you're pretty much right on point to everything, to the progressive mindsets of people who understand the issues. Um, when in your course of life did you uh, understand the fact that you weren't so much a victim? I mean, where your mentality arrived at where you could just understand what's going on without attacking or without running from, but you could call it for what it was.
Um, Again, I think that's, you know, I'm going to say one of the benefits of being born in the South. I think that's one of the benefits of being black. It is what it is, and until it changes, it's going to be that. And so there is no reason to pretend like it's not. I get up and I walk through this world and I have these experiences, and so there is no part of me that needs to deny it. I think, you know, I'm going to say I have my crazy moments, um, but, having a black mother and black aunts, you kind of learn that grin and bear kind of thing, and there's a sense of as long as I'm here, I need to get up and do what I have to do. Um, when did it start to be okay to have this feeling? I think it's always been okay. I look at my mother's life and, there was never a sense from her that it was any other way, that you had to pretend like it was any other way, like this is the way it is. And either, she would say stuff like, you have you have to walk through life, and you can make the rules and live kind of the way you want to live, or you can go by what someone else wants to do. Either way you go, you have a price to pay. So which price do you want to pay? And and I heard her say that very young, and so my thought is, as much as my way as I think I can get it to go, I would rather pay the price going that way.
Are you optimistic about the future of America and optimistic about the blacks that are within it?
Um, I'm not optimistic. Wow, that's a huge question. I am. I mean, look at my shirt. It says "Life is good," and so there is definitely a certain amount of optimism. But I think built into that is more from the sense of God created what is, and so on some level, I think things play out as they have to, or definitely as they will. Um, and when you're asking me if I'm optimistic, I'm wondering, am I optimistic that someday things will be even, someday blacks won't be feared, or someday, the pay scale will be equal, or someday, there won't be so many black men and women in jail, and, we won't have those kind of systems. Someday racism might go away. And any optimism comes as, for people who decide it's not okay to go to jail, I make a different choice. It's not okay to accept a racist system and live by the tenets of whatever, someone else's racist mindset is, or, I won't do whatever and make a different choice to live and be and act or say something different. That sense of optimism, yeah, I believe in that. I look at kids these days, you know, there are some that are showing promise, who are saying, I don't want this. I would rather have an education than a jail cell. Um, or I would rather know what my history says and react and respond accordingly. So there's optimism.